Well, as we prepare for possibly icy conditions, take a look at the brutal winter conditions in the upper Midwest. Winds are creating whiteout conditions in northeastern South Dakota. Blizzard conditions are reported all the way north to Grand Forks, North Dakota. The temperatures are already below zero with wind chills between 20 and 30 below. I can't even imagine. Well, the entire Houston area will be under a winter storm warning this afternoon. Brooks, you weren't here, but I do remember the icy conditions that we had 3 years ago on February 3rd, 2011. I mean, it was just so dicey. A lot of people just took the day off and stayed home.
Yeah, and that's probably a good thing to do for tomorrow as well. I've had the opportunity to drive in snow and ice, and you can drive in snow if you know how to do it, but it's ice, you really can't do anything because there's just no grip, even if you know how to drive in the snow. And if we see any imagery tomorrow morning that resembles that 2011 ice storm, you can bet it is going to be a hazardous commute into work. In fact, I'm recommending not driving to work tomorrow if you can avoid it. It's literally going to be on that level. We've got a winter storm warning in effect at 5 p.m. for northern counties, 9 p.m. for the balance of our viewing area all the way down to the coast. This means that hazardous travel conditions are impending, and at this point we're talking about the potential for icing, and it could be significant icing. Not a major ice storm, not like Dallas saw a couple of months ago, if you remember that, and certainly not like Oklahoma has seen, but for Houston, we have accidents if the roads are wet. You introduce a little bit of icing, and it's just a mess. This is what I'm thinking about. 8 o'clock this evening, the mix line works down through Huntsville and Conroe. Still liquid rain for Brenham, Tomball, and Houston, but certainly by 10 o'clock, that line moves south, includes Brenham, includes Tomball. This would be an icy mix of sleet, some freezing rain, and some snow, especially Huntsville and Conroe this evening at 10 o'clock. Houston, I think probably after midnight, that's when we're going to flip over to that icy precipitation as the freezing line sags south. And then once we get into the morning hour, about 7 o'clock, most of our viewing area, with the exception of areas just to the south like Angleton, will be under that icy scenario. And this is the bottom line with all this. Conroe, Tomball, Brenham, Huntsville, Cleveland, there's going to be a period of 4 to as many as 8 or 10 hours of potentially icy conditions. That means precip falling from the sky, actively icing things up. Now, the thing to remember when I show you all these maps is that we're only expecting at most a ½ an inch of precipitation. So if you have a rain gauge out there and it falls as liquid, about a ½ an inch. So that's not a lot, but certainly it only takes freezing drizzle to really mess things up on the roadways. So the National Weather Service says, hey, we could see up to a ½ an inch of ice. I agree with that. It would be mostly west of Houston where the highest amounts of precipitation are expected. Much lighter amounts of precipitation to the east expected. So there it wouldn't be quite as bad around Beaumont where there's only a winter weather advisory. But Huntsville, you could see up to a ½ inch, maybe 2 inches of snow mixed in with this as well. Mostly freezing rain, Sugar Land south to Galveston, so not much going on there when it comes to the white Christmas kind of a scenario. But I think Houston certainly will see some snowflakes before all said and done. Here's Future Track, 6 p.m. Notice the mix around Huntsville. That moves south by 8 o'clock. Conroe in the mix with snow potential in Huntsville. Could be heavy at times, by the way, through 10 o'clock up in Walker County. Keep that in mind. North Freeway is going to be a mess tonight. Look at this. Mixing right on into Houston at 1 a.m. In Houston, this is where I think we could start to see some snow flying. 3 o'clock, and then just more freezing rain on and off. So let's talk about the bottom line scenario with all this. It all clears away around midday tomorrow. Up to a ½ inch of icing, driving hazardous by pre-dawn. Cold weather precautions in effect. Right now it's 39 in Huntsville, temperatures falling, 60 at Hobby. We're going to see temps below freezing in Huntsville by 5 o'clock. Right now it's 20 degrees colder than it was at this time yesterday. No snow on the map at this moment, but that will change this evening. We're going to see big changes. HD Doppler, the rain is falling. The winter weather is impending. Let's jump to the 7-day. I want to show you this. The reason I'm saying, you know what, just don't even bother driving tomorrow if you can avoid it. It's going to be nearly 70 on Sunday. This will be but a memory. So why crash the car and then have to sit there and worry about what to do with it with the insurance adjuster on Sunday?
All right. Thank you so much, Brooks.